Hey everyone, and welcome to the 16th Chasm devlog. If you somehow haven't watched the previous devlogs, Chasm is a new dungeon crawler game with tons of lore and unique combat. Development is slowing down a lot, but it's still going. Right now, Chasm has two main problems. Problem number one is that gameplay isn't particularly exciting. Problem number two is that level 4 is way too hard. So I decided to give the player a new ability. Every 30 seconds, you can press E on your keyboard to blind the enemies. The screen will flash and every enemy is stunned for 5 seconds. I think the flash effect looks pretty good, but you can drop your opinion in the comments. After I used the flash, I got a weird error message. After a while, I realized what the problem was. My system for stunning the enemies consisted of getting every enemy, putting them in an array, looping through the array, and setting every item in the array's can move variable to false. Then, after 5 seconds, the game looped through the array of enemies to let them move again by setting it back to true. So if an enemy died during the stun time, the game tried to access it even though it wasn't there, because the game still thought it was there because it was in the enemies array. I rewrote my code and got it to work, and I got to playtesting. I just completely got rid of the enemies array and had it just get all of the enemies at the exact time that it needed them. Using the ability, I beat level 4 for the first time, so that's cool. Plot effects in the game were looking pretty bland, so I improved them a bit and made them more obvious. I also worked on a new system for the menu that will automatically work with levels rather than me having to code in the button for each level, which will save a lot of time. I then added a future game splash screen when you launch the game, but since the game loads so fast, you can't really see it well. It doesn't stay for long enough for me to even show it here, so I may actually add something invisible to the menu to make it load slower and have the game look better. Chasm is pretty great right now, and you know what else would be great? Subscribing. I spent a while working on controller support for the game. The original controller support sort of sucked, so I completely remade it. Controller play is better now, but that isn't saying much, and I recommend sticking to mouse and keyboard. It's much easier, and I don't think I've beaten a single level using the controller yet. I think I need to do something to make it easier, possibly adding some sort of special ability or auto-aim feature to the controllers, because otherwise it just won't be fun to play with them, as it will be basically impossible to win. I spent a while writing the story for the game, and the story is now almost done. I added a few pages to the storybook, and I also solved a few odd errors I had been getting. Next, I designed a new level. The battlefield will be a mix of rooms full of potions and boons and plains, with some boons and tons of enemies. You'll have to time abilities well to survive. I haven't added it to the game yet, but that will come soon. Currently, when you try to play the game, the icon of the app is just the default Godot icon, because I haven't actually created a custom one for the game yet. I spent forever trying to come up with an idea for one, and even tested a few in Pascal, but I eventually just ended up using an icon Flying Zucchini made as story art a while back and never got used. I tested a few exports, and after a few fixes and changes, the exports worked exactly as I expected. I remade the stone rolling animations again for two reasons. One, they were too slow, and two, they were broken. When the stone swaps directions, the animation should too, but it didn't. I decided to completely remake it as I was tired and I didn't want to spend my time debugging. I think the new ability has definitely made the game more interesting and overall better, and it's also made it easier, which is a good thing as the game was way too hard previously. I'll probably come up with a few other abilities to add, or just power-ups and other potions, because currently the only potion is the health potion. I'm also going to scatter a few more health potions and get rid of some of the enemies to make the game actually playable, because it's currently not fun to play as you're just walking around in fear. That's it for this devlog. If you enjoyed, please subscribe and follow me on Twitter and Twitch for constant updates.